The Supreme Court is now pausing the deportation of immigrants under the Alien Enemies Act.
And this is the first time I feel like this new media and conservatives are winning by just telling you the honest facts. The American people say they're in favor of what Donald Trump is doing. They don't want MS-13 gang members in this country, and they sure as hell don't want to turn them into heroes.
Because Kilmar is exhibiting courage that I think we're all drawing from. And he's not just trying to liberate himself. He's trying to defend the Constitution for all of us.
The Supreme Court shocks Trump and blocks deportations. Stick around. You'll find out why. Patriots, it's your veteran biker here, and I'm fired up. In the middle of the night, the Supreme Court dropped a gut punch to every American citizen who cares about their safety, cares about your family's safety. They blocked President Trump's plan to deport dangerous Venezuelan gang members using the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. As a military veteran who fought for this country, I'm calling out the Supreme Court for putting illegal aliens over American citizens. We're going to break this down and expose what's really going on. Before we get too far into this video, smash the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment down below. Are judges controlling America? What should be done? Should we impeach some of these liberal judges that don't give a damn about you? The Supreme Court didn't care about the 10+ million illegal aliens that Joe Biden allowed in, but suddenly they care about Donald Trump trying to get rid of them. This is a complete betrayal of the American people and could very well violate the Constitution of the United States.
The Supreme Court is now pausing the deportation of immigrants under the Alien Enemies Act. The ruling came down early this morning, freezing any action involving the case with a group of Venezuelan immigrants in Texas. They filed an emergency appeal yesterday, claiming they were at risk of being removed without sufficient notice to challenge their deportation. The Supreme Court did not give a reason for the temporary pause.
President Trump stepped up to the plate using the Alien Enemies Act to kick out members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. They're all thugs labeled as foreign terrorist organizations. And that was one of the first actions that Donald Trump did against the cartels. These aren't just random folks. They're not your next door neighbors. They don't like you. They don't love you. They don't care about you. More importantly, they just want to sell you some bad stuff and take advantage of you, your kids, your family, and take everything you own. Trump's plan was simple: detain and deport these non-citizens over 14 years of age who are part of this gang. No red tape, no nonsense. That's how you protect America. But the Supreme Court, they slammed on the brakes in a spineless, unsigned order in the middle of the night. This happened at 1 a.m. They halted deportations of dozens of these gangbangers locked up at a Blue Bonnet detention center in Texas. The American people have spoken. They want these people deported.
Donald Trump's net approval rating on immigration. In his first term, he was underwater at this point. 12 points more of the public, in fact, disapproved than approved of the job he was doing. But look at where we are now in April of 2025. He's actually slightly above water. A different way that we can look at this is compare what was going on under Joe Biden, what is going on under Donald Trump. And the way we can do this is on immigration, what track are we on? The right track or the wrong track? Back in December, just 14% of the public said we were on the right track. 62%, my goodness gracious, the vast majority said we were on the wrong track. Look at where we are now in April, though. Look at this. 45% of the country says we're on the right track, compared to just 42% who are on the wrong track. So the plurality now say we're on the right track when it comes to immigration.
This isn't justice. It's a slap in the face to every American who wants our streets safe. Thank God for Justice Thomas and Justice Alito, Samuel Alito. They were the only ones with the guts to dissent. They saw this for what it is, a dangerous overreach that put criminal rights over our security. Alito's got a statement coming, and I bet it calls out the nonsense. But the two justices are not enough. When the majority's playing soft on crime, I'm looking at you, Gorsuch. I'm looking at you, Kavanaugh. Amy Coney Barrett, she's already off the reservation. We know who she's really working for. Now, the ACLU came out with a sob story. All these excuses for gang members, whining about due process. The ACLU rushed to the Supreme Court with this sob story for these Venezuelan gangs. Also, the AARP and the WMM claiming Trump's plan violates their rights. Can you believe that? Their rights. They're leaning on some April 7th, 2025 ruling called Trump versus JGG, saying detainees need adequate notice and a chance to fight their deportation. Are you kidding me? These are illegal aliens, many tied to gangs that have already been labeled, and we're supposed to send them a gold-plated invitation to stay? The ACLU's whining that notices were in English only and didn't spell out how to contest deportation. Boo freaking who? If you're here illegally committing crimes, you don't get a VIP pass to stay. And get this, they claim some detainees were misidentified. Yeah, all the tattoos that they tried to cover up, the wife tried to cover up from this guy that's down in El Salvador. As gang members, these tattoos are that's their billboard. That's their social media. If you're inked up like a Tren de Aragua thug with the same little gang signs, then maybe you don't expect a warm welcome. 24 hours, that's too slow. These guys should have been on a bus to Caracas the second we caught them. The ACLU got wind that the detainees were about to be kicked out of Texas and were being loaded onto buses for deportation. Good. But then the Supreme Court decided to work a little late. That's right, into the wee hours of the morning to screw over America again. We fought for America, not for illegals. That's a message to all of you patriots and veterans out there. As a veteran, I am disgusted with the amount of work that the Democrat Party does for criminals. They represent everything that I disagree with. Why are they not doing more and caring more for the American people that are here?
And he's not just trying to liberate himself. He's trying to defend the Constitution for all of us. And so I think the senator and I sort of summoned the courage that Kilmar, his wife Jennifer, and his mother Cecilia have shown in standing up to what is really a turning point where the country is not just on the brink of fascism, but we've entered and crossed the Rubicon.
We don't need to go to El Salvador to find someone to give a hug to. No. What about Laken Riley's family? What about Rachel Morin's family? This court's order ties the government's hands. It lets these detainees sit pretty in Texas while we wait for bureaucrats to decide their fate. Meanwhile, here in America, where we live, American families are at risk from the same gang the FBI says is a national threat. Where's the justice for us? I'm talking to you, Supreme Court. The ACLU and the court keep harping on due process. Let me ask you something. Where was the due process when these illegals snuck across the border? They didn't file paperwork. They didn't salute the flag. They broke in, and now they're demanding a lawyer. That's how this works. You don't get to spit on our laws and then hide behind the Constitution. Our safety is more important than their so-called rights because they're not citizen. They are not offered due process under our Constitution. I'm all for immigration. I want it done legally. And I'm really pissed off with the way the Supreme Court is operating here. Here is the article from the Gateway Pundit. Illegals Alien Act to work against us. And you can see here these 9 justices that hate America. Even the Daily Mail has this. Supreme Court blocks migrant deportations as Trump pushes his presidential powers to the brink. Now, it's a liberal rag, but they do better than a lot of American newspapers. This is the Vet Biker, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate you. Salute.